suffer from stress, anxiety, and PTSD. And the only thing that has always helped me get out of my funk is when I create or make something. So let's go meet some healers and creatives and make some cool stuff and share some stories. Let's heal by create. So we're here today with Erin Valenti. She's a marriage and family therapist associate. PTSD, anxiety, and stress, are they do you think they're related, or are they all separate compartments?
No, they all relate to each other. Stress leads into anxiety. Anxiety leads into PTSD. They're all kind of one and the same.
So what exactly is PTSD then? Like what is the technical, medical definition?
So it's post-traumatic stress disorder. And, the way we think of it is when someone goes through a traumatic event, they walk away and they're experiencing a lot of symptoms afterward. So they're gonna have a lot of anxiety, they're gonna have intrusive thoughts. The nervous system starts to think that the event is still happening. There starts to be ideas around, I'm not safe, I'm not worthy. It changes how you perceive yourself and the world around you.
Oh, wow.
And so there's different types of trauma. There's things called big T and little t. So big traumas would be things like rape or assault.
Yeah.
They're where you're thinking your life is in danger. And then there are little t's. And the little t's I work with a lot more, where, being a human being is very traumatic. And so these little t's might be...
Wait, did you say being a human being?
Being a human being is very traumatic. So, if you ask anyone, if you say, have you had trauma, they'll say no, but they might be experiencing a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, because what really happens is if your nervous system feels like you're in danger, then that's trauma. Most of my clientele, I work with trauma. I feel really comfortable working with trauma. And I think it's because, everyone grows up with trauma. I really don't know anybody who had, I've heard people who have really good childhoods and they still experience some sort of trauma of I can't succeed as much as my parents did, or I want to be as good of a parent as my mother is. And we all, experience things. We all experience things differently, but a lot of them times they still cause us distress. I mean, everybody experiences trauma. Everyone does. We all react differently to it. That's why people can go to war. You have two soldiers who go to war and have the exact same experience. One comes back with PTSD, one doesn't.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not everybody gets PTSD who goes to war.
Really?
Yeah, not everyone who's raped gets PTSD. But there's no way to determine why one person gets it and why one person doesn't. But it has a lot to do with okay, how were you brought up? What childhood did you have? How much stress have you had? What kind of support system do you have coming back? Did you talk about it? It all manifests differently in each person, because we're all built differently. We all have different pasts, different futures, different presents.
I didn't know that you could have the same exact experience and one could have PTSD and one doesn't.
But a lot of the stuff I do is getting you connected to your body. Because like you said, you were like, well, no, it's my mind, it's not my body. And I would say, I wonder if it might be your body. Sometimes we don't even notice when our body is reacting to anxiety. Sometimes we don't even notice that our shoulders are up to here. Sometimes we don't notice that we're not taking deep breaths. And that's our body reacting to that fight or flight system. And when that fight or flight system goes off, we can't do any of the mental work, because your body's just in this fear response.
Yeah, because you're just right?
Yeah, so to do any of the work of talking it through or processing or any of that, we have to have the body under control first.
Is it like a threshold where your body gets to that point and all of a sudden your mental, process changes?
Yeah, and what it has to do is when your body goes into a fight, flight, or freeze system, it almost it freezes there. The experience freezes you there, and you don't have a completion of the experience. So your body remembers it, that the only thing it remembers is that I'm in danger. And so the next time you feel stress or the next time your body reacts into this fight or flight system, it kind of goes right back to that experience where you probably weren't safe. So every time you're feeling stress, your body might be thinking we're in danger. It's what happens is like when you have a traumatic event, it almost like when you're having the event, your body goes into that fight or flight system, and then that experience locks into your nervous system. So if there's anything else that happens outside of that event that reminds your body of that event, your body will react again as if you're in that event again.
And then you keep doing that over and over. It's like a vicious cycle.
And then it reinforces it because you've also put down this neural pathway that like, okay, anytime I see orange, I have a physical reaction that puts me into this panic attack, like, because it's being reinforced over and over and over
Whatever
again.
it reminds you of that traumatic event, kind of.
Right.
It'll trigger, and then you'll just.
Yeah.
And then to me, when you're saying, then you're in that state where it's almost like caution, like ah.
Yeah.
Like it's just you're just at the and then you can't snap out of it.
No,
Right?
because you're also thinking I need to do something about it.
And then usually, like, is it like when you try to do something about it, it's because you're not being rational? It's
Right,
probably
you're
not a good choice.
No. Like someone honks at you, it's not a good choice to like get out and scream at them. You know, that's not a good choice. But your nervous system is like, that'll keep us out of danger. And it's like, no, you're not actually in danger. This is someone who's just not driving well.
Yeah. Well, but it also feels good.
But why does it feel good?
Because you just let it out.
And that's what's so interesting is like all of the, you know, sort of practices we're doing is we're getting it out of the nervous system. So a lot of like, that's why talk therapy works, is because you're getting it up and out of the out of the body. Same with journaling. That's why journaling works, because you're getting it up and out. It's when we sit and stew with thoughts, ideas, and feelings and emotions and all of that, that's when we start to have physical reaction.
So then it's like a freeze in time. So can you? How do you move past that?
So a lot of the work that I do with people is you sometimes people think that you have to talk about the event. You don't always have to talk about the event. But what we're trying to do is really regulate your nervous system, because once your body believes that it's safe, then we can work on your mind. And so the first thing I do with all clients is to be able to check into the body to figure out if, I call it the zone of resiliency. So the zone of resiliency is where you can get upset and you can get sad, you can get angry, you can even be stressed, but you can still relate to another person. So I always think of it as like, you know, when you get in a fight with someone and you're set off and you don't even hear a word they're saying in this back and forth, you're just thinking about the way you want to react, you're out of your zone.
Yeah, you're thinking about what you're going to say next.
So you're out of the zone, you're not relating to one another, you can't hear each other. And so that's not the time we're going to be like trying to work it out. So a lot of the time we're out of that zone. Some people can be out of it all the time and they just don't even notice it. So that's the first thing I do is like talk to people like, how do you know when you're out of your zone? So one of the zones could be like anxiety and stress. And then the other zone is depression or where you're checking out or you're isolating. So first of all is like noticing when you're out of that zone. So with clients, I do a lot of visualizations, I do a lot of breathing. The other thing that's really powerful is scent. So let's say when you meditate or whatever you do that sort of brings you calm, I would choose a scent and use that scent at the same time. So when you link the scent with like a calm experience, anytime you smell that scent, your body's gonna follow. So like anytime you're feeling dysregulated, you can grab that scent. And it can help really calm you down. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff I do, it's called somatic work, so it's where we bring the body into any of the work that we're doing. Controlling the nervous system is really the first step in being able to talk through things. And each person is going to talk through it differently. Some people might want to talk about that event or what happened and they want to make sense of it or find some insight behind it, and that will give them relief. Some people that won't work. Some people it's like, I want to talk about how it's affecting me now, and I want concrete tools to be able to like thought stop or, and there's lots of different types of therapy that you can do. There's one of them that's really popular for trauma is EMDR.
Yeah, EMDR.
Yeah, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And it does have a lot to do with the nervous system, but it's basically you're going back into a memory that has shaped you in a way that's saying that I am not safe or I am not worthy, and you're re-experiencing the memory, but in a safe way.
How does that work? I mean,
you know, so we would like bring up a memory and your thoughts about yourself that came from it, and we would go into the reprocessing, and we would just see what the mind comes up with. So sometimes it doesn't sound like it makes any sense whatsoever. I'll be like, you know, like, what are you thinking of now? And you'll be like, the color red. Okay, well, we don't know what that means, but the brain just does what it needs to do, and the research has shown that it brings a lot of relief, especially when it comes to trauma.
Oh.
You know, it's when we start to be like, oh my gosh, look, I'm isolating myself.
So why am I doing that again?
Right, it doesn't benefit you in any way.
Yeah.
But being able to notice the small changes moving forward are gonna be so much more beneficial. Writing them down, you know, every single day. I always tell clients, I'm like, at the end of every single day, what 3 things did you do well today?
Okay.
And it really changes your mindset.
Really?
It sounds corny, but it really, really does. I say try it for 30 days. You don't have to write it down. You can even just think it to yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. Three good things that happened to you today?
No, 3 things you did well today.
Oh, 3 things that you did well today.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's like, I took a shower today, that's great, you know? Because I think we notice everything we do wrong and we totally
How about,
miss
can I make
things.
a list of 10 shitty things I did?
No, you can't do that. You're already doing that all day long.
Why didn't I do that right? Why didn't I do the dishes? Why is it piling up?
We do it all day. All day we do it.
So that's a good tool to have. Is write down 3 things you did well, like every day. I know you said journaling earlier. I mean, to me, like, I'll journal like when I'm in a really, really bad state. Then I'm just like just talking smack to my journal the whole time. And that's like, I can't do it every day.
But that's the thing is journaling. That's the only time I journal as well. Okay. I only journal when I'm having negative thoughts that are controlling me, and I need to get it up and out of my body. And you'll notice that your thoughts will slow down when you do that.
Okay. So all this stuff, all these tips you're giving us, it kind of sounds like we're exorcising our demons. I don't know.
We are. We're getting
exorcising our demons, right?
Yeah, and it's really like just to get them out of the body so the body doesn't keep responding to them as if they're real.
Okay.
You know, if we continue to think like, okay, I'm worried about this, I need to find a solution to this, sometimes there isn't a solution. Sometimes
it just is.
It's just a
situation.
Yeah, and if we can move that to the side and focus on one thing that's going right, that's where our energy is gonna go.
Oh my God.
And our thoughts will follow there.
Because because I mean, I've had situations where it's out of my control and I can't change it, but I will focus on it, and then like my whole life is ruined because I can't function. Like, it's so overwhelming. Like I can't even move on, right? So, but then like you're saying, just know that that's there, put it aside, and focus on what you could focus on, like positive or something.
Anything. Yeah, anything that's good. And the thing is that why do we get so obsessed with control?
I don't know, but then like, you know, with that thing where like if you saying put it aside, I'm like, I can't. I still freaking think about it all day long. And like, why can't that be different?
And it's because we're programmed. We're trying to avoid danger when we're in control. We're like, okay, wait, if I can control that, then it can't hurt me. It can't get me. Like, I'm safe.
Okay.
And that's just sort of, it's an illusion.
Okay.
Because you're not safe because you've tackled this problem or you just feel it. So these are all weighted and heated. And so the way we do it is like, we want to be able to like connect back to our body. So you can put this anywhere on your body and really start to sense into, does it feel good?
Well, it smells good and it's warm.
Right. And so I would ask you, like, how do you know that that feels good? What is the sensation in your body that tells you this feels good?
I mean, the thing that really pops in my head is like my grandmother, like, this to me when I was a kid.
And that's the thing, is like your mind wants to explain it, and I'm trying to keep you back into your body, because when we stay in the body, that's how we turn off that amygdala. So sense into the areas around the warmth and the weight, and just noticing you just took a deep breath. That's your nervous system resetting.
Oh.
So there are different skills. They're called help now skills. So when you're like feeling really overstimulated, overregulated, where you're like, okay, breathing is not gonna work and I don't have a weighted blanket with me, there are all these different ones you can do. One of them, to get that thinking part back, the brain back on, you count backwards by 3 from any sort of like random huge number. So, you know, like 5,240. Okay, count back by 3s. And so you're really forcing that part of that thinking part of the brain to go on. And when you're doing that, it's shutting down that amygdala. It's shutting down that fear response. Feeling a texture, like noticing what this feels like, noticing, okay, it's kind of hard, it's a little bit soft. That's another way to do it. One that works for me all the time is taking a sip of water. Taking a sip of cold water, noticing the water going into your mouth, going down your throat, going into your stomach. That's another really quick one that you can do. I usually have my water bottle with me, but like feeling something that's cold or hard, that really works. If you're sitting down, pushing your body down into the chair, so you're actually tensing your body and pushing yourself down into the chair will do it. You can do it up against a wall, pushing into a wall. Those are all really...
When you push into the wall? Oh, okay.
Will turn off that amygdala response.
Oh, is it basically all these exercises just bringing you back down to like now and being in touch with your physical self?
Yeah. And it's calming the physical self down.
Oh,
So,
okay.
because if we can get the physical body to understand that we're not in danger, then we can start to do stuff with the mind. But we can't do anything with the mind if the body's dysregulated.
All right.
So to really simplify, what happens is when we go into a fight or flight freeze system where we're in fear, there's 2 parts of the brain. The older part of the brain, it's called amygdala, goes off. And when that happens, the thinking part of our brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, turns off. Those 2 systems can't be working at the same time. So if we want to be able to say like, hey, we're not in danger, don't worry, everything's fine, we have to get that thinking part of the brain to come back online. And to do that, we got to turn off the amygdala. So we have to turn off that fight or flight system.
Okay.
So the way we do that is through the nervous system.
So you said amygdala?
Amygdala.
Amygdala.
Yeah.
Okay, so amygdala needs to shut up.
Yeah, it needs to shut
like
up.
function. Okay. all right.
Exactly. So we can get that prefrontal cortex to be able to talk again.
And this is a term that just recently, like, I've noticed. And it's a term that I've heard before, but just recently it just kind of hit me. People are like, oh, he's broken, she's broken. What the hell is that? So it's like, basically, I feel like, oh, they're talking about me, so I'm broken? Like, what is that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that word at all. Broken, I mean, I don't know why people say that. Broken means you can't fix it.
Right?
And I don't believe that to be true at all. I almost feel like sometimes when people say they're broken, it's their way of being like, I don't want to deal with it. And I feel like that's more, when someone says broken, that's more their shit than yours.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion, but that's not really based on anything.
Okay, because I'm like, what is not broken? Does that mean that you never experienced any trauma in your life? Lucky you.